Hello, this is Kevin's Corner, and my name is Kevin Probst. And I'm coming to you from my little corner of the world where I sit idly by, a keen observer of all that happens in our fast-moving world. Today is the 8th day of November in 2024, and I want to share my thoughts about Donald J. Trump and the path he took to a decisive win for another term as President of the United States. God spared my life for a reason, he said. How many parents have looked at the face of their newborn child and fantasized that perhaps one day they may be parents to a President of the United States? What are the odds of becoming President of the United States? 1 in 350 million? On June 14, in 1946, Mary Trump, the wife of Fred Trump, delivered her fourth child and named him Donald John Trump. He would become President of the United States twice. Donald Trump grew up with his 4 siblings in Queens, New York. He was mentored and introduced to the real estate business by his father, Fred. In 1971, Fred made him president of the family business, which Donald referred to as the Trump Organization. And there is little doubt that Donald Trump acquired some unpleasant personality traits in the cutthroat business world of New York City. And though many dislike him for his abrasive personality and his blunt, outspoken opinions, it was these very traits that enabled him to beat the odds and to take on all challengers and ascend to the presidency of the United States as its 45th and 47th president. Donald Trump is certainly the Energizer Bunny of all presidents. He is gifted with an immense amount of energy, and he is capable of maintaining his energy levels, though he only sleeps about 4 hours a night. As a short sleeper, he will usually go to bed about 1 a.m. and be up and at it about 5 o'clock a.m. Trump's ability to function without much sleep may be genetic. He may have the Thatcher gene, named for Margaret Thatcher, former Prime Minister of Britain, who typically slept only about 4 hours a night. Donald Trump and Melania's famous descent on the Golden Escalator in Trump Tower marked his entry into presidential politics. His systematic elimination of the Republican candidates for the nomination, and he did finally defeat Hillary Clinton for the presidency in 2016. During his first term, Trump built a strong economy by lowering interest rates and implementing a program of massive deregulation, which spurred the growth of American businesses. He was hated by his American political opponents, but he achieved a great level of respect among foreign adversaries who were intimidated by his unpredictability. He was successful in preventing the eruption of any major wars during his first administration. The end of his first term was overshadowed by the COVID crisis. There was never a doubt that he would seek a second term, and in 2019, he campaigned against Joe Biden, and he suffered a controversial defeat in a hotly contested election. He soon let it be known that he would run for president again in 2024. And he launched a perpetual campaign promising to fulfill his promise to make America great again. The challenges he faced on his journey to becoming the 47th President of the United States were unprecedented. Former President Bill Clinton had held the title of the Comeback Kid since his presidential campaign in 1992 when he defeated George H.W. Bush and Ross Perot. The title must now be forfeited to Donald J. Trump. Many agree with Trump when he declared himself the most persecuted person in the history of our country. I don't know if it can be proven, but it certainly should be considered. Donald Trump lived over 7 decades without committing a known felony, and suddenly he was charged with 91 felonies in 4 jurisdictions. If convicted of all those charges, he would have faced sentencing of over 700 years in jail. The lawfare assault on the former president certainly smacks of litigation overkill. He was the first president to face 2 impeachments, but was exonerated by the Senate in both attempts. The assault on Donald Trump would have broken most men. He was banned from social media. His Florida residence, Mar-a-Lago, was invaded by federal agents, and a mugshot portrayal of him as a criminal was taken and published from a Georgia jail. He survived 2 assassination attempts and is the only presidential candidate to face 2 separate nominees in a single election cycle. In spite of the massive assault on his character and a press unified in its attempt to destroy his candidacy, Trump prevailed and won the election of 2024 in a very convincing way. Did he win because he ran a better, well-organized, and deeply focused campaign? Or did he win because his opponent was an unlikable candidate who was never vetted by the primary process that normally precedes the choice of a Democratic nominee? Kamala Harris never won a single primary vote. The Democratic populace unanimously chose Joe Biden to be their nominee. However, the constitutional process and the will of the people were completely ignored by a cabal of Democratic leaders led by Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and others who handpicked Kamala to run against Donald Trump. The first one to inform me of the assassination attempt of President Trump was my son, who texted me from college. "Dad, they tried to assassinate Trump. He just won the election." I wasn't so sure at the time, but since then, I've often wondered just how much of an impact the attempt on Trump's life had on the election. Did it motivate his supporters to get out and vote? Did Trump's heroics, after being injured, help pave the way for his re-election? On that day, in Butler, Pennsylvania, Trump rose from the platform and pressed through his Secret Service protectors, blood running down his cheeks, his fist raised in the air, shouting, "Fight, fight." Did this moment in Western Pennsylvania help Trump win the most important swing state on election night? Early the next morning, after Trump had secured the election, he delivered his victory speech. Referring to the assassination attempt in Butler, he said, "God spared my life for a reason." Many feel uncomfortable hearing those words coming from a president-elect. It's not so important whether they believe the words. It's very important whether Donald J. Trump believes them. He is now convinced that he has a divine assignment to save his country and make America great again. Thank you so much for spending a few moments watching this video. If you like this sort of material, please hit the like button, subscribe to Kevin's Corner, and message me your thoughts. And I'll see you the next time.